Hey, everyone, and welcome to episode 12 of Talking from the Cheap Seats. And I'm Rumble,
I'm Gazoo.
and we're here to talk sports better than you. And excuse me, let me clear my throat.
I
All
know
right,
you're up in that those high elevation seats. The ears dry up here. You know what I mean?
that's right. So, anyways, we took a week off. You went
Sorry
on
about that.
vacation.
I was
It's
on
all good,
vacation.
buddy. Can I
You
tell
know.
you, sometimes letting some news build up
Well, I
on a
think it
show
was
like ours, I think it was perfect
perfect
timing.
because the biggest news to come out in probably the last, I don't know, and I'm not talking just Boston wise. I'm talking probably one of the biggest news stories to hit the thing, and probably since like a really major trade in professional sports dealt with sports entertainment, still sports. And I know we talked about, so let's get right into it. The retirement of Vincent Kennedy McMahon of the WWE, not just a retirement of stepping down as CEO, retirement from it all. So let's talk a little bit about that situation, maybe reasons why or understanding, and then let's talk about some of the ramifications long term it's going to have, both in probably the WWE and probably the business itself.
All right. So the one thing I want to say, retirement to me means retirement, but he still owns the company.
You can own the company, but you don't have to work.
Yeah,
He's
I
he's
get that.
only an owner. He owns the company because he's a share, because it's a publicly traded company.
Yeah.
But he has no. He ultimately he's collecting a paycheck at this point because he's no longer an active member of their board of directors. He's no longer the CEO. So technically, he's retired. Like, you can own a company and still retire. You just collect a dividend.
That's
Although,
like saying if you put your son in, but if you tell your son you don't like something they're doing and you're the one that theoretically owns the company, wouldn't you still have to listen in some way? I apologize for the technical difficulties as the question. If we have any live viewers at this time, please chime in. I would love to know. I would love to know what you have to say about if you retired, owned a company,
Jay,
put your
1 minute.
kids in control of it. Uh, what would your feelings be like? That would just be kind of weird to know that if you know. Yeah, if I owned, say, I was a deli sandwich wizard, billionaire conglomerate of owning, like, just say I owned a Jersey Joe's or whatever the hell they call them, and I found out quality was going down,
Sorry about
then it
that.
was because my kids were put in charge. What would I have to do?
So here's the thing, Jay, I was talking about. So you can still own a company and be retired.
I
Ultimately,
understand. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not.
check.
I'm not. I'm.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm asking. If you, Chris Reyes, own a company, okay?
Who? Who's Chris Reyes?
Oh,
Vinny Capelli.
Vinny
Chris Reyes, that
Capelli.
other guy. I know you're talking about.
If you, it's all right.
Yeah.
You shouldn't shoot on me. If you, the Gazoo, own, say, a string of fucking
Gazoo.
ice cream shops, okay,
Yep.
that are very well popular during the summer months and have helped feed not only your family, but help provide for, like, your parents and your grandparents, and it's done a lot.
Yeah, I know.
All of a sudden you decide it's time for you to retire, but you still own it. You walk away, and then all of a sudden 5 years, 6 years go by, and you just happen to strive down for a fucking ice cream, and you run into some of the old customers, and they say, and then you'd start to find things out. Are you not like? I need that. That's what I mean. Like, How does your 2 cents not count no more, even though theoretically you own the company?
I have a feeling. Look, we obviously don't know, but something tells
That's
me
all.
part of his agreement is he's slowly probably going to be bought out
Yeah.
by Stephanie, Triple H, and probably Nick Khan.
Yeah.
You know,
What does Nick Khan know about the business? That's all I want to know.
It's not so much about the wrestling business; it's about the entertainment side of it.
Yeah.
Nick Khan has always been the entertainment side of things. More of the building the entertainment portion of what is this wrestling company. Vince was more of the wrestling guy, in my opinion. What I think personally is one of two things is going to happen. Either there's an agreement that he cannot come back as CEO or chairman of the board and ultimately rides off into the sunset as an owner of the WWE, but it's like a non-participating owner. Ultimately, it's his retirement. That would be his retirement. He collects a portion of the company. He gets a check. Off he goes, and they can sign a disclosure agreement that says he cannot return to any active duties as part of his retirement. The thing is, once you kind of sign your retirement papers, it's like once a police officer retires, he's retired. Now you can still work, but you're retired, you're collecting your pension. So it really goes into whatever type of pension fund or what type of retirement fund that the company set up and that he has set up through the business. But ultimately, once he signs retirement papers, you really can't renege on going back. You can go do something else, but once you're retired, you're collecting from a retirement fund. You can't go back.
Do you think Vince will ever get itchy again?
No, because I think part of the reason why.
All right, let's get into the reasoning why. Come on now.
Okay.
Throw it out there.
I'm going to tell you what it is. There's enough dirt on him that it was either going to be the board of directors. The board was going to have to remove him. And if he was removed from his position and terminated, he may have forfeited any and all retirement. By retiring,
Ooh.
yeah, and by retiring now, you'll see it all the time, especially in like high profile jobs where the CEO steps down. The CEO steps down. The CEO before it gets to that, it's kind of the polite way of saying, we'll let you resign, keep your money, but you're not going to be working here no more. And I just have a feeling there was enough traction there. And granted, none of it was rape. And I want people to understand, because somebody asked me that the other day when I was on vacation, like, oh, Joe, what do you think about Vince McMahon raping those women? I'm like, whoa. You read the story wrong. He didn't rape anybody. He had sexual relationships with women that he worked with, and they were paid money for them not to say anything about the relationship. So, yeah, I mean, he's the genetic jackhammer with grapefruits for balls, and like he used to say, but ultimately, that's why I think he's stepping down. I think there's enough dirt, and he said, all right, so he doesn't fuck over the rest of his family. He was like, I'm going to step down, make sure that what he wants, because remember, the board of directors, if they have to step in, they could essentially take control of the company.
Yeah.
Versus them instituting Stephanie and Nick Khan as co-CEOs. His legacy stays. The McMahon legacy stays. There's nothing they can do at that point. There's got to be something in that. There's big verbiage at that level. But that's my reasoning. That's why it makes all of it points to that.
I'm going to agree, so I'm not going to take up any time with having to say the same thing. I will say this, that Monday night, one night don't make a difference.
No,
but it just seemed to me after reading what I had posted in our
in the Gorilla Position chat,
in the Gorilla Position chat room today about the morale. After reading that, it explained why the program itself was very energetic. Whether or not people liked what they did or not, I I don't know how I came out feeling that the first hour was dedicated to basically Roman Reigns, the Usos, then it falling over to Theory working with whomever, and then all of a sudden Theory going into a tag team match. That was the first 52 minutes of the hour. So if you're gonna tell me that they're gonna give me genetic jackhammer shit like that,
No, listen, you got to give it, bro. You got to give it. Triple H Inc. He didn't build NXT overnight. Now that the ship is his, and he is the big dog, you're going to see drastic. And this is we're going to kind of rolls into the end of this at the backside of this convo, which is the long-term ramifications. And I think the long-term ramifications for the WWE is this is probably the best move that could probably happen. Triple H taking over as the head of talent relation, head of creative. We all saw what he did with NXT. We saw the vision that he could have with wrestlers. You're going to see guys wanting to come back. You're going to see I think Bruce Pritchard's safe, but Kevin Dunn, John Laurinaitis, I'm telling you, bye-bye.
I heard Laurinaitis was already gone.
I think he's gone, but I think he's going to be permanently gone. You're going to see some people probably coming back. You might see guys like Arn Anderson come back as agents, and Dean Malenko. You're probably going to see Shawn Michaels being the head of creative of NXT. You're going to see guys like Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Finn Balor, the Rhea Ripleys, Tommaso Ciampas. You're going to start seeing them be pushed better. The Ricochets. You're probably going to see wrestlers wanting to come back. Like, I'm guaranteeing you now, the door's wide open for Bray Wyatt to want to step back through that door when he's ready. Guys like Adam Cole when he's ready to come back. Like these guys, all these people that were pro Triple H that may have left, or NXT or everything, like Bayley. Bayley's probably going to have a huge push. Liv Morgan, Alexa Bliss. All these people are probably going to have huge put. Like, I think long term, the WWE's creative direction and vision, you're going to see what we've been talking about for a couple of years. The biggest thing that's going to happen is you're no longer probably going to see in the future, long term now, not short term, but long term, you're not going to see the WWE needing a Brock Lesnar or The Rock to sell tickets in main event WrestleManias. It's going to be the guys that are building the company that are actually there. You may get one of those guys to come in to do a match, but it's not going to be for the world title. It's not going to be the main scene. I think the sky's the limit with Triple H as head of creative. I really do. I think it honestly, I felt, and I said it to you we've talked about this in the Gorilla position. Vince is out of touch. The creative was out of touch. The writing was out of touch, except for an NXT where the writing was great, where Triple H was running it. Now,
listen, you know what the funny thing is I'm not gonna take up the time because a lot of the stuff you're saying is I would say anyways, but I'll just say on this that I'm not sure, but I was online, I listened to some people talking, and if you think about it, the NXT pay-per-views. Oh, it was the Sami Zayn conversation on Broken Skulls. Great interview. Those pay-per-views were outdoing the main pay-per-views.
Stone Cold said it himself.
Yeah.
He said, remember Stone Cold said it, you had NXT outdoing the two main shows.
Yep.
So,
and that just proves that that Triple H, what they were doing, and I think the more and more that Mickey Bigson talked about it, and we'll just wrap it up after this, is that the conspiracy, could all of this that added up, the years of lying and cheating, to Stephanie's mother, tearing the family apart, probably making the holidays a really weird time. You know what I mean? When you get all the families together. What if Vince and Linda had the heat? And then with all this stuff,
right?
with the releases and the shitting on Triple H and this, that, and the other, that it came to the fucking head and bang. This is why we're here today.
We'll end it on this. It is known that what happened with Shane McMahon and that he was quote unquote let go from the company by Vince. It's also known that Stephanie and Shane are not really on good terms. And I think that there was also heat, and I'm a firm believer, I've read there's enough smoke, that Stephanie had heat with Vince over the treatment of Triple H and how things were being done with NXT. I mean, look, and I both know Hunter was not happy with what they did to NXT and ousted all of his guys.
Yeah.
You don't think Hunter's going on a revenge tour eventually? Of course he is. He's going to get rid of all this shit, and I'm telling you, it's going to be good. So, speaking of shit, let's talk about the shit minor league team playing at the Fenway Park in Boston, Massachusetts. That team would be the Boston Red We Sucks, because you want to talk to me about they're in the basement, my friend, of the American League East. They let up, 44 runs in a matter of 5 games.
I'm not going to not argue. You don't have to.
Bro, what is going on with the Boston Red Sox? I get
they've played the last 22 games up to this date without five out of the 9 starters in the lineup. Okay, no. Not listen to me. And then everybody wants to give money to all these people, and one of the persons is Xander Bogaerts. Okay, $30 million a year this guy basically wants, or what you're gonna have to give him to stay here in Boston.
Is that the
I'll
price?
say this: he's the one guy that is playing hurt, that's in the lineup, that's still playing hurt. You haven't had Story. You haven't had JD Martinez. You haven't had man, I'm having a mind fart. At third base there, Devers. So theoretically, man, you're missing 2 of your best hitters, no matter what. In Devers and JD Martinez. Story's been part of the lineup. To say the least, to argue with you and say that it's a minor league fucking lineup, you're absolutely right. There's a guy at second base that 3 years ago, he was a Gold Glove second baseman for the Chicago White Sox, but he fell off the face of the earth and is now playing second base for the Red Sox. I've said this for the longest time, that at first base, you have to choose where you have your platoon, either in the outfield or at first base. I thought Jared Duran was going to be a decent piece for the outfield. In the past few weeks, he's fallen apart.
Yeah,
Friday night in the 28-3 loss. Yes, he lost the loss.
Kicking.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. It was an embarrassment, to say the least. So he gave up on the ball. A lot of people have said that if he was an ordinary rookie, he'd already be down in AAA because he gave up. Okay.
Yep.
So, listen. And I got the numbers. I have a shitload of notes that I took.
Understand one thing. I want to point this out to you. The Baltimore Orioles have a better record than the Boston Red Sox right now.
At this time right now, I got the top 8 team. The Jays are the top 8 teams in the wild card right now. The Jays, as it stands today, okay? The Jays are 54 and 43. The M's are 53 and 45. Tampa Bay's 52 and 45. Cleveland 49 and 47. The O's are 49 and 48. The White Sox 49 and 48. The Red Sox are 549 and 49. Texas is 43 and 53. So I'm going to say this, and you can weigh these apples any way you want to weigh them. Right now, the Sox, even in the 7 seed, years ago, yes. Years ago, right now, we'd be talking. Hold up.
7 teams that make it 7 wild.
I understand that. I'm not saying that, but
I'm sorry.
They're only 3.5 games. They're only 3.5 games out of the 1 spot, okay? They're 2 games out of being in Tampa's seat.
Wait. Let me ask you a question, though. Do you have to be Tampa and Toronto to kind of get those?
Listen to me. Let me get to this.
All right, go ahead.
Theoretically, if you're not playing them right now, they could lose. Okay, but the Red Sox do have to win. You know what I mean? Listen, I understand that. How the fuck do you think they caught up in the first place? You know what I mean? Really? The first half of the year was against American League East teams, and you and I sat here, and you basically threw, and along with a lot of people, threw dirt on them. They sucked against their own, and then they came back. They had a great month.
They beat up the teams that
they should beat up on.
Right,
they
but
beat
you gotta be able
the
to beat the good
teams.
teams.
They beat the teams, and they did. They beat some good teams. They beat some good teams.
I get it.
They did. No, if you don't get it, you don't get it. You're 3.5 from the 1 seed,
and you're going the wrong way. You have Jay.
I'm not denying. I'm not denying.
Going down, not up.
I'm not denying that. Obviously, they're going down. There's no Chris Sale, and I'm telling you.
By the way, what happened to Chris Sale?
He broke his hand.
How did he do that?
A ball was hit back at him at 106 miles an hour, and he went to protect himself. Not field it. He went to protect himself.
Which hand did he break?
His left hand, the one he pitches with.
So you can say that's the end of Chris Sale's career here in Boston.
It could be, yes.
Yeah. It should be, to be quite honest with you.
Nobody's going to. Can I tell you something, buddy? There's no LA Dodgers out there like back in the day that took the contracts, okay? Let me just feed you the info, okay? I am one of the people that that watches. If there's 6 games in a week, I watch 5 and a fucking half of them. Okay, I'm just telling you from what I see. I watch a lot of baseball. The Sox theoretically are still in it. If I would tell you, yes, I would agree they suck. If people like Martinez, Devers, Story, and Bogarts was realistically healthy after the collision he had, going out to the outfield and has played through. I will give this to Devers. Devers is old school. He plays through Bogarts. Bogarts is old school. He plays through injuries. So 3 out of your 5 guys in your starting lineup, and those are the ones that are supposed to produce for you, are not in there, man. And as it is, the other 5, you got Verdugo is probably one. Verdugo and Christian Vasquez are the only 2 guys really that are hitting over 260. And you got the 7, 8, and 9 would be Jackie Bradley Jr. Durant actually is hitting probably 265, I believe. So, but they're hitting. The thing is, they may be hitting for a decent average. None of them are run producing. And here's another thing. The Red Sox, I wish I wrote the Whitlock statistic down. But with Whitlock coming out of the bullpen, they had a record of it was like 12 8-3, and then with him as a starter, they were 3-7. And so it shows a lot at times with the Red Sox. And a lot of the Boston Sport Talk media calling the Red Sox kind of morons for utilizing Whitlock in the starting rotation because he was sorely missed. Because just look, if 12-2, and then without him, I believe they would 3-7 when he was a starter. But that wasn't his starting record. It was while he was in the starting rotation during that span. They went 3-7, which I mean, I have shitloads of numbers. So hear me out. Listen, we'll talk now. Are they buyers or are they sellers?
Well,
and I'm gonna tell you why. Either way, they're screwed.
Let's hear it.
Oh, well, you tell me, are they buyers or sellers?
They're gonna. Well, there's already the rumor that they're trying to sell JD Martinez.
Yeah,
which I'm okay with, which I'm completely 100% okay with. But I think that what came out in the paper the other day, as far as what John Henry said about the team and Hein Bloom, I think the Red Sox are going to be sellers.
Okay.
I don't think that they're going to put any effort into this season, try to win this season. I think they're sellers.
Okay. Here's a reason why I'm going to tell you one general aspect on why selling sends even a worse message to the Red Sox nation.
Yep.
As it is, the sellouts that they've had over the past 4 to 6 weeks have actually been fictitious because of the ticket agencies that buy up the tickets.
Right, because of resale. Yeah.
And if you look at the games that they've had over the recent homestands, they're empty by the 5th or 6th inning, which in recent years you could never say about a Boston Red Sox team. Now, I did write this down. The Red Sox right now are on pace for the lowest season gate since John Henry bought the team. Yep. Okay. Now, when you hear things like that, my friend, selling and giving up on the team till the theoretical end, if this was a place like Cleveland, Minnesota, Tampa Bay, a small market like, team, then I could understand because theoretically they don't got the money. They're looking to refurbish. They're looking to do this, that, the other. A team like Boston, at this point in time, with what's being said on the two big guys that they may not be able to retain.
Which you and I both know is a crock of shit.
Okay, now listen. Sends a huge...
It's a negative message to the
Red Sox nation that this ownership does not care about Boston or the Boston Red Sox fan anymore. And I can say this. With John Henry, when he first bought the team, it was about him buying the team, resurrecting it, making Fenway Park the place to be, the Red Sox the team, yada, yada.
That wasn't just John Henry, though.
Okay, I'm just saying people he was affiliated with. Now that it's become this corporation of this Fenway Racing Group, which now it seems to me as if the Red Sox are just one of the Starbucks in the line of the franchisee.
You nailed it right on the head, kid. And I'm going to tell you why.
And let me just finish with this.
Yeah.
In Tampa and those places, that would run great. But I think John Henry needs to tell Hein Bloom that, listen, to a certain extent, this is Boston. And I love the fact that you want to build the minor league system. And the minor league system and developed players already in the big time go hand in hand. I'll give you one player. Bogart's coming up. Bogarts is a 10-year player. Do you know that? Bogarts has been up with
I
the
don't want to
Reds
get into players coming up.
since Listen to me. I'm just saying. This is comparison. He came up at the age of 19 and didn't have to play right away. Yep. Started at third base before going to shortstop finally 2.5 years later. And it was a perfect situation for a highly sought after guy. Ellsbury, another guy, didn't have to come up and play a key center field, start at the fucking and be at the top of the lineup. Was able to break in. So with that being said, the Red Sox key to success over the years was that formula. Having the successful veterans and then having a good minor league system. But when those stars came up, they weren't asked to fucking be the man right away. They could ease in. And right now, the Boston Red Sox, as a organization, or as you would say, Canadian-wise, an organization, are not being ran in that type of manner, which is why I believe we're being treated like we're a downtown Starbucks in Syracuse, New York right now.
Here comes the last minute of this talk, and I'm gonna let you in on
not the last. I'm gonna tell you something after you go on.
Something you probably either already know or maybe you didn't know. This ain't the first time that John Henry has done this type of method in ownership. When he owned the Florida Marlins, they won a World Series, and then he dismantled everything and told them, this is the operation how I want to run it now. I am telling you flat out, John Henry does not care. The Red Sox organization does not care one bit about the Red Sox fan base. What they care about is being able to sell tickets, sell enough tickets, because it's not just the Red Sox. It's the Red Sox. It's Liverpool. It's the Pittsburgh Penguins. It's the NASCAR race team. 15 years ago, it was just the Red Sox, and they invested heavily to win championships. Their attitude is
longer than 15 years. 22 years.
Huh?
It's been 22 years.
They've won 4 championships, right? Since 2004. They've got 4 championships. They're not looking at, they're looking at money. They don't care about the fan base. All right, so let's wrap this up. Go ahead. I know you said you
All right, here we go. There's a huge reason why the Sox right now are looking to trade off JD, Christian, and Eovaldi. And you want to know what the main reason why is, and it has a lot to do with the collective bargaining agreement that happened that they just signed. See, in years past, they wouldn't have to trade guys like this because they would get a considered draft choice. But nowadays, if you offer JD and Christian Vasquez and Eovaldi next year a 1-year tender, that 1-year tender will be worth $19 million. Okay? And it has to be offered to them. If you don't offer them that tender, you're not offered draft compensation no longer. So, with that being said, one of the reasons why you're looking to trade off JD Martinez, because you might be able to get a 3-team trade in here. Be able to trade off JD to a contender and take back another guy that's a DH that's probably not hitting average-wise as well, but home run-wise is hitting better than JD Martinez. JD Martinez, just a couple of key notes. In the last 40,
we only got.
I get you. The other 2 teams aren't that fucking interested, buddy. Wow. Let me tell you.
We have other talk to talk about.
You have. Listen, the Red Sox are where it's at right now.
No, it's not.
Yes,
Red
it is,
Sox
dude.
a fucking dump Anyway.
It's the team that's playing right now that's most
That's
relevant
not true.
in the
There's a new team
sports
that started
eye.
spring training. Let's go. Wrap
I
it
don't
up.
care about the new team that started spring training.
Wrap it up.
Fucking Patriots. I got their shirt on. JD Martinez in the last 42 games only has a 600 on base percentage, OBP, 4 home runs, and 15 RBIs. So that is one.
Me on JD being traded.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
Okay. Vasquez, you know one reason why why they look to trade Vasquez, but one reason why they may not, because he's looked pretty good at first base, is because a guy like Vasquez, if he's offered $19 million, he's taking that money because he's not going to get that money anywhere else in the major leagues. Yes, he's a top catcher, but catchers don't get that money. You know, they don't care about catchers that hit 275, banging 10 to 15 home runs a year and knock you 45 to 65 RBIs. And Nathan Eovaldi. Eovaldi has a lot of innings pitched. And I'm a guy right now that if you want to trade Eovaldi and take back a project, I'm willing to do that. So those three right there, I'm willing to do that. I don't believe, and this is just me, if you think about it, just to throw this out at you, Trevor Story's contract's a very viable contract right now. Not his contract in general, just his style of contract. And it was come up. I've listened to a few different things that a lot of teams are now turned off by the 8 and 10-year deals, that these 5 and 6 year deals are going to become more common to these players. And if a guy like Xander Bogaerts and Devers are looking to make that $30 million a year, you might be able to get that. You might be able to get Devers and Bogaerts the same type of deals in 5 to 6 year deals for $150 to $180 million. And that's one of the reasons that we've really haven't heard of anything. Bogaerts, it seems realistic, man. Let's just face it. Bogaerts is 30 years old. 6 years later, he's 36. Devers has a monster fucking career over the next, and he say he wants 5 years so he can come back at 30 and try another fucking deal after that. He can all out make more money. So I'll end it. I'm going to end with that one, but here's the thing that we think of. The deadline will be important for what and who goes, because the next 6 games will be telling, okay? Cleveland, Milwaukee, and Houston. So when we're sitting here next Wednesday, we'll be discussing the trade deadline. Was it good? Was it bad? And where things go.
Tell you what, let's jump into the next conversation since we're talking. You said the word trade. Boston Celtics are what they say, the prime team to make a deal for Kevin Durant. Although I did read today that Miami was in the mix, but Miami has said they're going to stay put with the team that they have. Something tells me the Boston Celtics will pull the trigger on a deal that will send Jaylen Brown, will send Marcus Smart to Brooklyn, probably with 2 first-round draft picks, and get Kevin Durant back. I think it's going to happen. I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, I don't believe Jaylen Brown's going to be here in 2 years. I just don't. I don't think he's going to be here in 2 years. And if he's not going to be here in 2 years, give me Kevin Durant for 4 versus Jaylen Brown for 2. I don't know how I feel about Marcus Smart going. I mean, I like it and I don't. I mean, I'm not the biggest Marcus Smart fan, but I think Kevin Durant, if you can get Kevin Durant, he's a once-in-a-lifetime generational player.
Go
I
on.
don't know. I think game-wise he'll be fine. Chemistry-wise, I don't know.
Okay.
But
All
let's
right.
talk about it.
Did you watch any of the Olympics?
Not the basketball, no.
Okay. See, then you would not. Then you would right away. You wouldn't be enamored by it. Durant and Jason Tatum.
And Marcus Smart
I'm just saying.
play together. I know. I
Him-
heard they were
no,
great
no,
together.
no. It's not even. But I watched the games, and Tatum and Durant look good together. But did you watch any of the Brooklyn series, the 4-game sweep?
I did.
All right. Did Kevin Durant look like Kevin Durant, or was the defense that fucking damn good?
The defense was that damn fucking good because Kevin Durant absolutely looked like Kevin Durant. Dude, he dropped, what, 40 points in one game?
Okay.
It's almost
I'm not listen.
Yeah. He almost
I'm asking
single-handedly
the general
beat
question.
Yeah,
okay?
he almost
That's all.
single-handedly beat the Celtics.
That's all. That's all I'm
Celtics
asking.
had that last-minute bucket that they got.
I've said this now. Now that I know. Because let's just face it, if it is a Durant Tatum fucking mix, with what the Celtics have now, like a Robert Williams, a Brogdon,
One more
White,
year of Al Horford.
Derek White, a year more of Horford. What's to say that this doesn't draw more guys to want to come and play with this franchise?
If Kevin Durant's on this team, more people
that's what I mean. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And say they like Tatum. All right. This is just me. I want to know where Jalen's. If I was the Celtics front office,
you want to know what Jalen.
I want to know what's in his brain.
Problem
and if
is,
he said to me, "Hold up,"
yeah,
he said to me, "Listen, you know, and I know, I just shut Kevin Durant down. Give us one more year together with the additions you got. I'm thinking we can do something. I'm working hard. Jay Tatum's working hard. Time Lords, we're all working hard in the off season because we want to be champions.
All right,
and hear me out. If it don't do it this season, I got that 1 year left. Send me to a team that I want to go to. Because I'll do a sign and trade. So that way it's guaranteed. So now, but the thing is,
you don't give the power to Jaylen Brown if you're an owner.
No, I do. I'm going to be honest with you. I do got to, in a way, shape, and form, do that because if he's willing to say to me,
no,
and then you send me to a place where you can get the best of me.
Jay, let me ask you a question: who's the better player, Jaylen Brown or Kevin Durant? Come on. This is an easy one. Let's be honest here. You're going to tell me Jaylen Brown is even on the
Kevin Durant, listen, I'm not saying that. I'm just, listen, man. 25 and 34 is a different thing. When Kevin Durant, hear me out. And Kevin, and I know that, but I want to know that for sure out of his mouth.
You're never going to get that out of his mouth.
Not social media shaking my head or any of this fucking garbage.
If you're a professional athlete, your agent is not.
Do I do it? I actually, can I tell you something? First and foremost, before I look to pull that trigger, I asked Trader Danny one more time up in Utah. What do you want to do? I want Donovan. I think the Celtics would fit better with Donovan Mitchell.
Danny's too much. You know how Danny is.
I'm just saying, listen, I would just want to see one more time what they want for Donovan Mitchell. That's all. Other than that, the Marcus Smart thing I really don't like, but if it has to be Smart, along with 2 first-rounders, that's fine. Any more than that, I think it's an overpay. And they should be protected lottery picks.
No, the Celtics wouldn't be able to give him lottery picks because
I know that.
they're never going to be lottery.
I understand.
Not with Kevin Durant on.
What if something went down that everybody just people went down? I'm just saying.
Well,
I'm just protecting.
Yes, I'd rather the Celtics don't give up a lot. Yeah, I mean,
you're
right.
They're called protection.
Protected lottery pick. Yeah, you're right.
That's what I'm. That's what I'm talking about. I follow their contracts. So yeah, if you're gonna ask me, yes, I do, because I think Jason Tatum. I think Jason Tatum don't mind being 1B.
I don't see. I think it's the other way around. I think it's Kevin Durant doesn't mind being 1B if he's playing with.
No, he doesn't, and the thing is, he knows that he'll still be able to shoot the last shot of the game because Jason Tatum, if it's important, he shits bricks and hides.
I know. And the problem is I do believe Jalen. The reason why I'm so an advocate for it is I'm telling you, give me 4 years of Durant versus 2 of Jaylen Brown, because Jaylen Brown is going to be gone in 2 years. He will not be here because I do believe he wants to be the number one somewhere.
Yeah, he does. You and many others. And then he signed with the fucking very notorious, he's out there playing and drinking games with Kyrie Irving, and he's got the same agency now as Kyrie now, so he's drinking the Kool-Aid. Yep.
And I could see Jaylen Brown going to a team like Cleveland, a team like Miami, or a team like in 2 years.
Can I tell you where Jaylen Brown's going in 2 years? He's going home to Atlanta.
I could see him go to Atlanta.
And he's going to play with Trae Young.
Yeah, but I could see him being the number one in Atlanta.
Exactly.
Well, I wanted to pick your brain on it because it was talked about this week.
If it has to be done, and theoretically everybody and all signs are pointing towards Tatum, towards Brown not wanting to be here, then I'm hugely in favor of getting someone who wants to be here to play here while Tatum is young, and it can dictate
a young Robert Williams.
Yep.
And you got a young Grant Williams,
And at the same time, it might be able to talk Tatum out of saying, I want to be like Kobe Bryant and play for the Lakers.
Yeah, no, maybe be more like fucking Kobe Bryant and say, I'm going to stay with one team. And I'm going to
be more like Paul Pierce, who grew up in Inglewood, loving the Lakers, and now hates the Lakers and is devoted to. Yep, exactly. All right, so
before we go to the tax, I just want to do a quick Bruins update.
Let's just talk about the Bees real quick, and then we'll talk Patriots. Quick.
So I just want to say that I don't know if we talked about it, but 2 weeks ago we talked about free agencies, and Johnny Gaudreau hadn't signed. Johnny Gaudreau wound up signing a contract with the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Yeah,
$9.5 million. I think that contract is going to help the Boston Bruins should they try to re-sign David Pastrnak, because Gaudreau and Pastrnak are very equal, and $9.5 million sounds like a good deal for David Pastrnak versus 11.5, 12. So let's see. There hasn't been really any movement with Krejci or Bergeron or anything else, but I do think that the Johnny Gaudreau signing kind of puts in perspective what the Bruins realistically are looking at a David Pastrnak. That's where I'll leave it at that. There's really nothing else to talk about the Bruins.
No, there's not, because you got people. Quiet. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Hopefully everybody signs and things speed up in the next couple of weeks.
So you're wearing the shirt. Let's see it. Is that number 10? There it is. The guy that Bill Belichick is praising like Jesus Christ and John Bon Jovi had a child. Mac Jones, baby. Training camp started today.
That's right, it did. Back 10 and 11 with 11 on 11s, 8 of 10, which don't mean shit because there's no pads. In the 6 on 6, he was 7 of 8.
So, it was funny. Who was
Trent
it that?
Brown came into camp looking stealth, lean and mean, looking like he wants to be here. That's dangerous because at one point in time, he looked to be like he was the best outside. Yes.
Yeah. Patriots just signed Godcha to a 2-year deal too.
Horrible. And if you heard anything about that, Godchow, whatever statistics that company is, there
$20.8 million 2-year extension.
worst contract they could have signed him to. At the point in time when the announcement was signed, the NFL Network was doing an interview with Sean McVay, and Sean McVay goes, "What?" And they told him, and he chuckled. It was.
I remember that.
It was a no. It happened today.
Oh, I think you talking about the other. Yeah.
He chuckled about. That was the number one draft choice. Why? Oh, why did they draft? And he laughed. No, right. It just so happened again that the NFL Network happened to be interviewing him at the time Godchow signed it was announced that Godchow signed the extension. He was like, "Why would they do that?"
$20.8 million for. I mean, I don't get it.
Listen, there's a statistic. There's a statistic that said he was the best at his position from week 7 to the rest of the year.
Last year, yes, I'd agree. Well, maybe
really, because there's a lot of people out there that said he sucked.
No, he was pretty good. I thought he was good. I mean, the thing is, Barmore and Judon really kind of stole the show. But
yeah,
bro, he was quietly nasty last year.
Yeah,
I don't think he's worth $20.8 fucking million.
No, there's a lot of top guys like Paul Perillo in March said that one of the key factors in cutting the salary cap down, a good thing to do would have been to have cut this guy. So Paul Perillo is not liking what the New England Patriots have done. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
And he's one of the top beat writers for the Patriots.
Yeah. You know, this is going to be this goal kind of goes back to the way Belichick's running this team this year. You have a lot of risky moves, coaching wise, players wise. You know.
All right. So
it'll be interesting to see.
All right.
I did hear real quick. Hold on. I did hear a few things coaching wise. I did hear Matt Patricia was calling all the plays.
Yeah.
That Joe Judge pretty much stayed behind. You definitely can tell Joe Judge is doing quarterback coaching because he's watching the footwork, I guess, of Mac Jones and the quarterbacks. But I also heard that at one point today, Belichick went over to Troy Brown, who I think is the wide receivers coach, and was fucking giving him the business because I guess he wasn't happy something with the receivers or a receiver.
Yeah, they say Troy Brown because I watched the morning show with Beadle and Zolak, and they're live from Patriots camp.
Yeah, they're live from the Patriot place.
Belichick was with the offense all day, had cleats on, and was running back and forth.
That's what I heard, yeah.
Joe Judge you're absolutely right. He was basically the quarterback coach while Patricia had the walkie-talkie calling the plays.
Yeah.
And the second guy that he would say that had more to do with that offense, more than Joe Judge and even Belichick, was receivers coach, Mr. Troy Brown.
Yeah.
So it was, and supposedly they say that at one point in time that Patricia was going to be groomed to be an offensive coordinator down the line.
Yeah.
So I don't listen. I really don't. And to me, it's pro football. And if you was a head coach or aspiring from the bottom to get to the top, I believe you've been on all sides of the ball. So do I believe that, oh, shit, should it be your debut as an offensive coordinator in the NFL?
Yeah.
I don't think it's recommendable. But for a guy like Matt Patricia, who has been a defensive coordinator in the NFL and a Super Bowl winning defensive coordinator, regardless of not that he was the head coach for the worst football franchise in the past, let's just say in the past 30 years, even with Barry Sanders, the fucking Detroit Lions have sucked.
Yeah,
okay?
Yeah.
So the guy, you can't say that the guy doesn't have a grasp or knowledge of offense, okay? Is it going to be a sight worth seeing? Fuck yeah. It's must-watch TV. But a lot of it, I watched Patriots training camp with Tom Curran and I forget the other guy he's with. And they believe a lot of the reasoning behind the non-naming of the coaching staff, giving theoretical names to them,
Yep.
is because this is his way of skipping over the Rooney Rule, because there's just coaches out there that Bill Belichick is not interested in training with, that he wants people that understand his style and his philosophy. And can I be honest with you? With that being said, I highly believe that.
I don't know. Again, I think I go back to the point, and we talked about this a few.
If you was a coach
ago.
for the past 30 years, 40 years in the NFL, and a lot of the guys that you wanted to, utilize at one point in time are now either A, being used, or B, aren't in the game and have no interest in being in the game, you're going to try and recycle as many pieces you have in-house. And if you find out that there's rules and ways of you going about on who you want to hire, I think Bill Belichick is a huge manipulator of this. So yes, I do believe that this is certain ways that Bill gets away without having to give people the certain LOL love of being said coordinator of what goes on.
It doesn't matter. I think at the end of the day, and I've said this in the past, I think it's a mistake not to bring in a true someone who's already played the position.
But the thing is,
let me finish my point.
Yeah.
With a second-year quarterback, if this was a quarterback that was, say, a Marcus Mariota, let's just say Marcus Mariota was our quarterback now, right?
Yeah.
I could see a more seasoned guy being able to work with a guy like Matt Patricia, who is being groomed to be a position. When you have a second-year potential franchise quarterback for the next 15 to 20 years, you need to put with him a true offensive coordinator to bring this kid along. Because in other programs, it has never worked when you didn't have a true guy like that with these quarterbacks who were coming out of college or coming after their first year, and they had the bull by the horns, and they just needed that leadership. And I'm sorry, but Matt Patricia is not an offensive guru like
I never said that. I never said that.
Gates. The guys that were.
I don't want the guy that got caught. Like, you don't want him here.
Everybody fucks up. Who cares? Everybody fucks up. Okay, but Adam Gase is a known offensive guru. I mean, Jesus Christ, Peyton Manning said it best. Like, he's the smartest offensive guy he's ever met. Okay, yeah, he fucked up. So didn't fucking Jim Montgomery. Hell, so didn't Rick Tocchet. So didn't half the other people in New England. Hello, I mean, Boston Red Sox. How many guys? Manny Ramirez, David Ortiz. I mean, all these guys. They all did.
You made a point. I get you. You made a point.
You know what I'm saying? They get fucked up. But the point is
what if Belichick just doesn't want to go through the hiring process?
It's not that. It's the Belichick way. And no offense, but if you look at the coaches, none of his coaches succeed. The only one I think you're going to see have any success will be Josh McDaniels, right? Look at Sean McVay.
Bill O'Brien didn't succeed.
Bill O'Brien did not succeed in the league.
He did decent. He did decent down in Texas.
What the fuck did he win? Nothing. Zero. Bill O'Brien won shit.
They went to the playoffs.
Do you call that succeeding in the NFL?
For a Bill Belichick coach, yeah.
No.
And I think a lot of it had to do. He had one of the best teams in the league one year, and then J.J. Watt went downhill, and then they lost their best cornerback.
Listen, I don't want to hear it,
so then the defense went downhill.
You know what?
But
Bill Belichick had the greatest quarterback of all time, the greatest quarterback, and in 2008 lost that quarterback, still went 11-5.
Yep.
With Matt fucking Castle. The point is
Matt Castle still went on to be a decent NFL quarterback. He was decent for a couple years in Kansas City.
Genetti of the fucking Rockets, pal.
Had a good couple years. Had a couple good years in Cleveland, not Cleveland, in Kansas City. And then after he left Kansas City, he did fall off the map. He actually had one good year in Minnesota too. So,
all right. Last thing before we wrap it up. NFL news, but not. Could have been the Patriots. Real quick, Julio Jones signs a 1-year deal to play with the GOAT. What do you think? Could have been Patriots. We could have signed him. Julio goes to Tampa Bay Bucks.
I think it's a great place for him. Brady loves the experience. I just
want to point out.
I think when it comes to November and December, Brady's going to be hoping that Gronk is underneath this Christmas tree coming to Tampa.
Listen, you and I both know he'll be underneath that Christmas tree. Think about this. Ready? Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Julio Jones.
But the thing is Julio last year didn't do jack shit in Tennessee.
Ryan Tannehill.
Oh, my God. And what has Tennessee done over the past fucking 3 seasons?
They relied on Derrick Henry to get them to where they were.
Where have they been? But still, Tannehill was a top 5 in the league.
No.
In all fucking categories, buddy. Open your
game manager.
Oh my God.
Game manager.
Oh no.
Yes,
no. Because if Ryan Tannehill wasn't any good, it would have never led to the fucking Patriots giving that shithead that's in our fucking tight end room huge fucking money because he had 2 huge fucking seasons with Ryan Tannehill, along with that fucking guy that we should have fucking drafted over fucking N'Keal Harry that caught balls for fucking Tannehill. So don't fucking buddy. I'll say this: Tannehill as far as average yards and touchdowns is up there with the top 5 quarterbacks. It's his bone-headed at the end of the game mistakes that kill Ryan Tannehill.
Listen, I'm going to point out something. He does not have numbers that go anywhere
near. Oh, my God. Yes, he does. Use your fucking goddamn lens.
Listen,
watch fucking NFL. Watch fucking shows.
Patrick Mahomes, nothing close to him. Aaron Rodgers, nothing close to him.
Bullshit.
Go ahead. Pull it up. Tell me Aaron Rodgers and Ryan Tannehill are equal in numbers.
I don't have to tell you that. I'm telling you that he's average top 5 in all the fucking statistical numbers. Yards thrown for over the past 5 years. Yes, he has, because that's what led to him getting that fucking $30 million. That's what led to him getting the $30 million fucking. That's what gave him the fucking $30 million contract in Tennessee 2 fucking seasons ago, because he was resurrected from the fucking trash heap in fucking Miami. Don't fucking tell me, buddy.
Okay.
Come on. Come the fuck on.
Right now. We are opening the show next week on the Ryan Tannehill debate. I want statistics from you.
I never said he was fucking top fucking 5.
You just said he's top 5.
Top 5 in statistics, not top 5 in fucking quarterback. No. Talking statistics. Statistics.
I want to hear them. We got to, because we are now past an hour here, pal. We do got to wrap things up. So let's open that up next week. before we get into the MLB, because I think we'll be talking a lot about the trade deadline.
Where does Ryan Tannehill rank as far as NFL quarterback statistic-wise over the past 5 seasons? All right. So, anyways.
All right.
Is it okay? Tennessee Titans, Ryan Tannehill is among elite QBs in these 4 stats. Okay?
You said top 5. I want to hear it. And if you say
highest graded playoff action since 2019. Aaron Rodgers, 90.6, number 1. Go get it. It's your mother. Ryan Tannehill, 94.0.
For what? Don't even go QB rating on me. That's a garbage stat, and you know it.
Okay. League leaders in QB rating since the start of 2019. Oh, fuck you. QB rating. Oh, but Ryan Tannehill, 110.6. Aaron Rodgers, 107.9. Patrick Mahomes, 106.9. Oh, that stat don't count, but fucking Aaron Rodgers is there. Come on, Phenomenal. You know as well as I do. You don't like to lose.
My nose is starting to
you don't like to lose. Do your research. When you're gonna come to talking from the cheat sheet, I know we don't get internet, but get a better phone bill so you can talk this.
Is he top 5 in completions?
Okay.
Top 5
highest graded quarterbacks.
Yes.
In the 2-minute drills. 2019. Oh my God, since 2019. Deshaun Watson, 87.8. Tannehill, 85.4. And 85.0 with Russell Wilson. So please, okay?
You just threw
highest rate of positively graded throws in the season of 2020, Tannehill 31%, Brady 29%, Baker Mayfield 27%. These were all major stats, dude. Sorry. Ryan Tannehill, I'll agree to you.
Mayfield was number 3 in the fucking league that year?
Yep. That was the year. That was a good year for Mayfield, was 2020. Either way, I'm not saying that Ryan Tannehill is a top 5 quarterback. He has the stats. In the past 5 years, he's ranked number 5. He's in the top 5 in all the major categories. That's all.
Okay.
Does he blow during the last 2 minutes of a game when it's on the line? Does he shit himself? Yes, he does.
But yet you just gave me a stat that said the 2-minute drill. And again,
yes.
I'll go back to.
But these are playoff games that he shits himself. Derrick Henry don't shit himself. No, Derrick Henry's the man.
And I will not be drafting him this year in my fantasy.
So anyways, let's wrap things up. What do you want to wrap it up with? We usually go, hour and 15 minutes, and we're 7 minutes away.
There's really not much else to talk about.
Yeah.
We hit the major sports, bro.
And so let's go on.
So I'm good.
So next week we'll check into this. I'm going to leave it with this. A friend of mine posted a city meeting that's taking place in Everett, Massachusetts, that involves the Exxon Corporation. And the Exxon Corporation could quite possibly be taking their operations out of that area. Now, hear me out. It is widely known that the casino is pushing to have that stadium venue even more. It is now known that Robert Kraft has now hopped aboard this endeavor with the casino in order to make the 20 to 35,000 seat retractable roof stadium that will house the soccer and the concerts that they want. And people are saying with Robert Kraft hopping aboard with this venture, it will mean that you will see the casino quite possibly being built in Foxborough in the near future because it would
Wait,
be
wait,
bought.
you mean,
Oh, buddy.
you mean the stadium being built?
Yes,
in
but what would
every-
happen is because Kraft would not have to pay anything to put his team in this stadium. There was land being botted off, quite possibly in Foxborough, that would house a casino down a hotel and/or casino down the road.
All right. See if we can find up some info on
You
it
give
next
us
week.
you make sure we have a way to make money. I'll make sure you make money. It's all good for one Patriot place. So anyway, that's been good, man. Great addition. Talking about the cheap seats. Next
Yeah.
week we'll talk where did the Red Sox land. Hopefully there's more. There's some news where that the Bruins finally signed.
Somebody.
Patrice Bergeron. And we see if maybe David Krejci comes back. That
You know,
much
and
more.
Real quick next week, I'd like to probably get just a quick between you and I, because I'm hearing things WWE wise. Let's have just spend 5 minutes on a SummerSlam recap. It is the biggest show of the summer.
Yep, we'll do that. SummerSlam recap.
I'm very shocked. It's July this year.
Yes.
Usually it's the middle of
I think it's because they're going to Europe and then they're doing the show
right.
overseas and a lot of things like that. So, anyways, it's been another great episode, brother.
Yes, it has.
Yeah, we killed it. It's another great week, and like we say around here, what you gonna do when Rumble and the Gazoo
talk sports better than you?
That's right. So next week, it's been another great one. We'll see you next week. Thanking everybody out there. And
Daddy, I have one more question.
What's the question?
Is Steph Curry the top 10 player of all time? It's the question.
That will be for next week. Is Steph Curry a top 10 player? That much more.
All
Talking
right.
from the cheap seats. I'm Rumble.
I'm the Gazoo.
And we're going to talk sports once again next week. Better than you.